feeling the gray. That's good.
There we go. All right. We are live as far
All right.
There we go. Video's live anyway, assuming the audio is. Hey, Joe. Hey, everybody else who might be joining in a minute late here. Oh, feeling the great. Yeah, we're getting the live caption, so that means we're online here.
All right. We're both fresh out of the shower. Yay.
How's everybody doing today? This is Fight2Flight with Kelly and Mike. I am Mike.
I'm Kelly.
And we are here to chat about healthcare stuff. If you're new to the program, I'm a respiratory therapist specializing in chronic breathing problems.
I'm a nurse practitioner with a varied past, currently in clinical research with a passion to advocate for kind of the underserved and those of us struggling with obesity and addiction.
You varied and perhaps checkered past?
You married me.
And this is our weekly check-in to just make sure everybody's doing okay. You may notice right off the bat we are not, in fact, wearing costumes this week. We had talked about that last Sunday, and then all of a sudden, about 20 minutes later, it's this Sunday.
Yeah.
So that didn't happen, but it has been a pretty cool week, actually. A really cool life lesson experience for one of our kids, Emma. A little bit of backstory. Kelly and I, Emma lives with us. Kelly and I are looking to potentially downsize to a smaller place in a few years after we get everybody through high school and everybody kind of established into their next phases of their life. And Emma is very interested in taking over the house from us, which we really support. So we've been teaching them a lot about home ownership stuff. They while you were up on the island, we redid their room completely, and they had basically full reign over what color do you want it, pick out a light fixture, all that sort of thing. Put in the sweat equity, helped with doing flooring and all that kind of stuff. Worked really well. But this year it came time that we needed some new furniture, and because we weren't sure exactly how long we're going to be sticking around here, we wanted Emma to have a say in that. And so what happened?
Well, and also I remember some kind of horror stories from my dad where if you're making payments on something and your parents are the ones who have signed for it, that's nice that you have that backup, but then it's the parents getting all the credit, building credit. So really wanted them to start building credit. So they did a small financing through the store, which happens to be where they also work, which is great because they're getting to see what it is to save money and the worth, what different things are worth and how you budget, and also because they work in customer service to see the other end of things. So it's been a win all around.
So that's been the big part of our weekend is we got the furniture delivered, and we got some covers on it because we have a multitude of cats.
We have a copious
amount of cats.
Mm-hmm.
So we've been doing a little bit of that refurbishment in the living room, and worked out really nicely. Emma did a really nice job picking out some good furniture, and we're really excited about that. So that's where we are, Joe. Hopefully you're doing okay down there, living long and prospering. I saw you responding to my post a little bit, or what was it? Live long and keep making money, or something like that. So we're not in costume, but we do have some fun stuff. I saw you grab some.
Oh, speaking of live long and costumes, I'm loving my silver. This is real earned silver.
Silver fox.
Hey.
That's the thing, right? Women are
some
supposed
people
to
pay for this.
Be you're supposed to be proud of your tiger stripes and your gray hairs and all that kind of stuff. So
got that, yeah.
And yeah, I mean, it seems weird for a guy to say, yeah, you should be proud of that, because that's just. We're usually toxic masculinity and what's the word, mansplaining and
what I like about you is
misogynistic.
What I like about you is that you're not that. So that's all good stuff. Hi, Kim's here. Elena's here. Elena will be our dinner guest later.
All right, you have paid for it, Joe says. Thanks for the reminder from Kim. So since we don't have costumes on tap today, we don't have that. And of course, if there are things on your mind, of course, we'll love to respond to audience questions and thoughts and communications and all that stuff. While Kelly's getting that ready to go there, we'll say that first of all, of course, thoughts and well wishes and everything else go out to the people of Ukraine right now. That is a heck of a situation. Just so many different angles to that. I was actually talking with our friend, Andrea, was posting about that earlier, and brought Star Trek into it, and so we had a little bit of a conversation about that. And it's just, I don't know about you. I don't know how closely you've been following it, but it's certainly bringing me flashbacks to the 80s and 99 Luftballoons, and hopefully that will work out. And then on a similar note, today marks the, I think, 6th or 7th anniversary of Leonard Nimoy's passing.
Oh, really?
Whose family escaped from the then Soviet Union from Ukraine.
No way.
So I posted earlier on Facebook and Twitter, his last Twitter post was "Life is a garden. Life is like a garden. Life is a garden. Needs to be tended carefully," and that sort of thing. And the official state flower of Ukraine is the sunflower.
Really?
Yes.
Oh,
and
I like the hope in that.
boy, there have been some stories about sunflowers. A little old lady there was a bunch of soldiers were trying to get her to leave her house, and she was like, you need to carry seeds of sunflowers so that when you're on the ground, you can plant a garden. It was like, yeah, there was some hardcore people over there. But sunflowers are absolutely an expression of hope. They were used in the AERC, or one of our presidents a couple years ago used that. I still have my sunflower lapel pin somewhere, so... lots of expressions of hope, but and this is just kind of a meaningful day all around, I think.
Yeah, on camera, you're going to get me right in. Whew. All right. Hi, Mitch.
Hey, Mitch.
All right. So I thought rather than listen to us just ramble, I mean, last time we were rambling, man, like really. So for...
Rambling, gambling, man?
At our local... Yes. We're not going to do this to them this time. All right. So... At our local bookstore, started out as Book Bug, and now also this is a bookstore, which we absolutely love and support. I bought a gift for my current boss as he's off on a surgical leave and doing well. But we all wanted him to be entertained, and we found all these great things. And so I was very excited about one of the things I gifted to him. And then I was like, well, we're going to have to nerd out and do something similar. So this is Supertheticals.
50 new questions for strange conversations.
And I thought, where better to have strange conversations? Mind you, I've not opened this. I've not looked at one. I've not pre-screened, which are all words that I'm getting quite used to, Kim.
Kim also notably loves it when we ramble, so...
You're all just too kind, and you show up. But, all right, so random pick... All right. It might sound rambly, so the way this goes.
Maybe we should read the instructions.
So what is this game, how to play? So I select a card at random and read it to the players, y'all the players. You'll be first asked to imagine a person. Sometimes this will be a specific person. Sometimes this will be a hypothetical person. Once the player has imagined the person, the dealer reads the scenario on the other side of the card. The imagined person will be the central figure in a strange situation, which ends with a question. To play, the player or players describe the imagined person, answers the question, and explains their reasoning.
Okay, so that's why this card has a description of this particular person that we're supposed to be contemplating, and then you read the scenario on the back.
So do I just start with the scenario?
No, you start with the person, because then I would have to think of...
how might this person... Okay.
Right. I'm imagining this person, and then you'll go through the scenario, and I have to respond how that imaginary person interacts with the scenario.
Okay. I mean, really, I just brought these in and sat them next to me as we sat down, and Mike said, oh, that's a good idea. So
It's once again that high-quality content that you're seeking.
No joke, y'all. I mean, I literally walked out of the shower a minute ago. Okay. This person is tall, thin, hairless, and middle-aged. They are of unclear ethnicity and wear a monochromatic jumpsuit. Okay. Now, you are alone in a public park, relaxing on a bench. This person approaches you. They somehow know your first name. I'm thinking of some crime dramas.
Yeah, okay. Immediately I thought of an orange jumpsuit. I don't know what that says about me, but
I was thinking all sorts of things doesn't matter because that's just me rambling. Okay. They somehow know your first name. They tell you that they have traveled through time from the distant future and that you should dedicate your life to mathematics because the work you will eventually do will positively change the future of humankind. This person tells you that you do not need to pursue any level of higher education or find a mathematical mentor. You just need to devote your entire life to thinking about abstract math in order to ultimately save society. Math man.
My training in Channel 1 comes back to me. No, that wasn't Channel 1. That was, what was that called? Square One. Square One?
Oh, yeah. Well, and the kids know this.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. All right.
Rambling.
You ask this person to prove that they are from the future. They say they can't do that because any information they give you might have a rippling impact that could alter reality.
Yes, the temporal prime directive for my Trekkies out there.
But they do tell you this. Tomorrow a strange thing will happen to a public official that will serve proof of my claims. Okay. The next day you learn that the governor of your state was killed and eaten by a bear inside the state capitol. No one knows how the bear got into the building.
I have some thoughts, but
okay.
Michigan's a weird place to live right now.
Is this enough evidence to convince you to devote your life to thinking about math?
Whew.
And this isn't just you. I want everyone's responses.
No, that is interesting because that is a strange occurrence. Honestly, I mean, I joke around about somebody there's a non-zero chance that somebody would actually let a bear loose in our state capitol just to get at the governor. But that is definitely a strange occurrence. But, and this may be a surprise to some people, and perhaps even you, I'm not a real big fan of math. So the idea of just like, I don't have to go through any more training, which is good because I gave up on math. I thought for a while I was going to be a math teacher, and then I got to the point where I was like, no thanks. It's talking about matrices and weird stuff. That was too much. But I don't have to do that because I don't need any additional schooling. I just have to do math from now on. But I really like what I do, which is not math.
Yeah, this is a fun question for Elena, who historically with math would love to just tell math to suck it.
Yeah, but see, the flip side to that, here's the thing. The really interesting part of that is that you don't have to do any more schooling. So you can positively impact humanity with what you know about math. And Elena says, as long as I don't have to do algebra or calculus, I can think about math a lot.
Right.
And that brings up a good point.
I was just saying that to Emma this week with the life lessons we're talking about.
Yeah. We talked
about math all the time.
When we talked about how, I don't know about you all, but when we grew up, our teachers were adamant that we were never going to carry a calculator around in our pocket. And yet here we are.
Yeah.
Not only that, as Emma pointed out, not only a calculator, but a graphing scientific calculator, all that stuff. So,
let's see, are you the only hope for humanity?
Or am I just going to positively impact? If I'm the only hope, then I gotta.
You gotta. The work you do, the work you will eventually do will positively change the future of humankind. I mean, you can think about abstract math and still do this.
But because I got to devote my life.
Okay, true. Mitch.
You read what Mitch has to say, because I'm still pondering.
Okay, Mitch says, I don't know. A bear did once walk across Northern Michigan University's college campus. I'd have to study enough math to figure out the odds that it could be a random occurrence. Hey, that's clever.
Well, and see, and this may sound a little bit pompous, but I'm in a somewhat unique position where I already do things that I feel are positively impacting humanity.
Yeah, I used to feel that way. I hope I can.
Yeah. So, oh boy, I don't know that the scenario as presented, I don't know that that's enough. I would need to know a little bit more about how I positively impact humanity. To what degree? It can't just, to me, it can't just be black or white. I gotta have a little bit more grayscale in there. I gotta know a little bit more. What do I do? And I know, temporal prime directive and all that kind of stuff, but I need more. So as it stands right now, no, that is not enough for me.
Please read what Kim said. That's also not. Yeah, I'm not like I'm not compelled by this whole. I think I want another card, but please read what Kim says.
No way. I'm bad at math, but I'm not bad at math, but I'm not devoting my life to thinking about it based on one person's words and the action of a hungry bear with bad taste in dinner.
Well said. All right. I like our crew. Now you this time.
And Elena also brings up a good point, finding the artistic side of math, the golden ratio, which came up in Discovery this week.
Yeah.
And fractals. Oh, fractals really are beautiful. Fractal, you see fractal stuff and icicles.
I've lived in life with you.
That's true. In the whole multiverse, even. All right. So, well, this one's going to be fun for you. This person seems exactly like someone you dated or might have dated when you were younger. So your rogues gallery there. The way they look and the way they act mirrors the type of person a younger version of yourself was often attracted to or involved with, which makes sense if they resemble an ex. So, here we go. You, Kelly, are a therapist, and this person is your patient. Everything about their life seems ideal, yet they remain unhappy. I don't understand it, they tell you at the end of your first therapy session. It's almost like there's something about myself that everyone else can see, but I can't see it. I can't shake the feeling that there is something crucial about my personality that I don't understand, even though it's obvious to someone else. But what could it be? It's going to be a lot to unpack here.
Well, and you didn't unpack the right side first.
Yeah, I did.
Oh, this is all about the person? This isn't the scenario?
This is the scenario. No, the person, this is
you
your ex.
First.
I did.
Oh, you'd read that. Yeah, you read so fast.
This is your ex. Or
so that was that, and you already
put
this. You're such a fast reader.
You are a good therapist, so you don't make any arbitrary accusations or offer unfounded conjecture. You simply agree to meet this patient, who again is like an ex or what have you. You simply agree to meet the patient again next week and discuss the problem further. But privately, what do you assume is the probable answer to their question? Is there something crucial about their personality they don't understand, even though it's obvious to everyone else? And also thoughts from the crowd here.
So each person could be imagining one of their own exes?
That would be the thrust of the game, yes. Someone they dated or might have dated.
This is a theme this week as we had a lot of talks, and so this isn't specific to people I've dated. This is just specific to humanness, or this is common to humanness. I find that people are often unhappy when they don't define they don't know what they want, they don't know who they are, and the light doesn't come from within. So if you're constantly looking for external validation, or for someone else or someone else's list of things to define what will make you happy, if you don't create that yourself, if you don't know that, and if you don't, if you don't own it, if you just constantly need external definitions and validation, you'll never be happy. So, I mean,
so is your analysis that they are missing something? They're missing that they need to have that internal fire, that internal light.
Yeah, define it. Decide what your values are. What you can't be happy if you don't know what will make you happy. And in order to know what will make you happy as a human, you have to know how to find that yourself.
Gotta have that curiosity. We talked about that a lot.
Be curious, for some people, they like someone else. Just tell me, give me an algorithm. Maybe math person would want an algorithm, but how do you know you've achieved something if you don't know what you're measuring or what you want? So
Mitch says it doesn't have the foggiest notion, but they shouldn't have dumped him. So
I have had one or two come back and say, so you're with Mike now?
Too late now.
Yeah.
All right, should we do another round here? Elena bringing in the deep cut Star Trek reference there.
Well, share with the group.
That is, if you prick me, do I not leak? I believe that, I think it's Data. I can't remember exactly what episode it was, but I think it was Data and not Lore. So but it was back in the day.
These references always delight us both, especially Mike, especially with Star Trek. Okay, we'll do one more, and then just listen for anything you all have to say. I have positive things to say too. Week of so not this past week, but the week prior, I'm making baby steps toward a better life. I want to see what Joe Walsh has to say.
Joe says, may have missed the point. I don't think so. But if the therapist and the patient have a past, then there is a conflict of interest. That's a good point. So the card maybe should just be written resembles somebody like you might have dated, because it does throw in that option that you did date, because that would be kind of awkward.
Well, and then you have to really, so say you do see someone you have a past with. Well, I mean, even in my last role, there was some overlap in my personal life, but I still loved it, and I think I handled it pretty well, you know. But to do that, it could be if the therapist, he or she that agrees to see someone of the past, of his or her past, that person has to have strong convictions and boundaries to know that, because it can be not just a conflict of interest, but it can be an emotional toll to maintain that. Or it could be hard not to just say, listen, but knowing that with different people. So that's a very good point.
That is a good point.
Okay, so the week of Valentine's Day, I finished all my old paperwork at my last place, so that was a big deal to typo on that. And good point, Elena. Do not judge a person based on who they look like. So true. Another.
And that's probably tough too, because you have that, I don't know if it's like an innate bias, but you know, if I have dealt with people who it's like they might remind me of an ex, and you immediately have that like snap judgment of bad feeling, good feel, you know, whatever it is. That's hard to compartmentalize, I think. And then Chris says, Kim says there definitely is a conflict, even if you didn't, because your advice is based on feeling and not advice given without bias. So.
And Joe Walsh.
Oh, need more info on yeah, apparently. So Joe posted a couple, it was about a week ago, what do Mike Hess and Taylor Swift have in common? And nobody knew, you know, and so I finally said I give up, because he was looking for, you know, trying to get people to guess. And turns out Taylor Swift was seen moving around town with oil billionaire heir Mike Hess at one point. So I was like,
oh, no kidding.
If only.
Oh, well.
If only
actually,
I had,
fine, yeah.
If only I had,
tell me about it.
If only I had the dollars for that, because I could do. I suspect, and I don't know the other Mike Hess, but I suspect I could do a lot of good, potentially more good, than messing around New York City socializing.
I'm ready to move on. No, I'm just kidding.
Move on.
Just kidding.
Happy wife, happy life.
Right. And then this week, you know, I was so stressed for so long that I was having cocktails every single night of my life. And so this past week, I had like one on Monday night, and then I thought, what better date to like make my new start but Tuesday, the 22nd of the second month of year 20, you know, I get into these things. And so had nothing, had one cocktail yesterday, and was fine. This is a big deal.
Yeah.
So
we've both battled with various dependencies, whether it's food or whatever it is, and we're coming out of the dark, so to speak, and feeling good about where we are.
Yeah, so doubling down on baby steps and realizing we don't have to do it all overnight. So even though I saw way too many pictures of myself yesterday because excited Emma kept taking photos of the room, but then I would be like my backside in the corner, or like me with a cat, and I'm like, okay, I see it.
But we're playing tennis, and I actually won one this week too. That was big news. So
oh yeah, another legitimate, powerful win on Mike's part. That was exciting. So yeah, I mean, we're getting more water, we're getting less alcohol. We've planned meals for this week. we've got a kind of a routine now with tennis, and we're going to add in some other things. And I don't have to have this unrelenting guilt about old paperwork. So all is well. I'm in a good mood.
Excellent.
Okay, last one.
Okay.
And also, Elena has a. I just don't want to ignore anybody.
I that must be. I'm not a big Swiftie, so I don't know about Old Flame keeping a scarf. Was that maybe? Did she date John Mayer or something for a while and sort of falling out?
She did.
I don't know that reference.
Well, we're gonna have them as dinner guests, so we'll laugh at you later.
They get the live show.
Yeah. Sometime we'll have them over for the show, but we'll have to make more room.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Last one, and thanks for being good sports.
Jake Gyllenhaal. Oh. All right. Thank you.
So we have another trivia game that we're gonna go back to some trivia here and there. I was gonna say at this way, but could be when we're at this way we do trivia. Yeah. Okay. All right. We're still just rambling, everybody. So thanks for being here. All right. I'm gonna read this slowly as I do.
Okay. We'll have a clear demarcation between the person and the scenario.
I like to find limits.
Yes, clear expectations.
All right, this person is someone you have nothing in common with. They are the polar opposite of you in every meaningful way.
Okay.
They also have an annoying voice and an overbearing personality.
Well, clearly, if they're the opposite of me, then that would go without saying.
You have some black pepper right between your front teeth.
Of course
I'm telling you that now after a comment like that.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Love you. All right.
Thanks that you waited until a half hour in. So that's awesome.
I mean, well, we just got out of the shower and landed, so yeah. All right. Oh my God, an annoying voice and a loud chewer. I can't even. Okay.
Annoying voice, loud chewer, polar opposite of me.
All right. Second side. Here's scenario. You're seated next to this person on a commercial flight to Colorado. Which reminds me of that comedian bit with the pancakes. Okay, we'll come back.
Rustling around.
We might have to put that link in the comments later. All right. For 2 hours, they conduct a one-sided conversation, regaling you nonstop with boring stories about their own brilliance. Now, this is someone opposite?
Well, yeah, my stories aren't boring. I gotta smile like this now. Cause I can't. Got pepper in my teeth, so.
Now you're just making me feel weird. Don't do that. Okay. All right. Suddenly, the left engine fails. Nope. It fails by falling off the plane.
That would be an epic fail.
And then the other spontaneously fails. I need my old lady readers because clearly you see how falls and fails are right on top of each other. Don't say anything.
They often are.
All right. The plane begins a nosedive. Most passengers start screaming and panicking, but your seatmate remains inexplicably calm and composed. They grab your hand, tell you their name, and say the following. I live in Denver. My name is in the phone book. If I die and you survive, you must call my spouse and tell them that all the money is in a briefcase at the YMCA next to our house in locker number 123. The combination to the locker is 123. They repeat this information twice so you will remember it. The plane crashes into a field outside Denver. They die on impact, but you miraculously survive without a scratch. What do you do with the information they gave you?
Well, first, the thing that immediately jumps to mind is Spaceballs. What kind of idiot has that as a combination on their luggage or in their locker?
So someone's died and you're thinking Spaceballs. Okay.
Well, it probably would have been before the impact, honestly. So, anyway.
You're thinking that before, like, yeah, you told me that once. I'm hearing it again, and so.
President Scroob. I mean, you got to tell the spouse. I mean, that's.
Oh yeah, I mean that's a no-brainer. I
don't care how annoying the person is. I mean, that's like.
I don't want that karma.
Right, exactly. I mean, that's an easy one. I'm surprised that's in this deck actually, because I mean that's pretty straightforward to me at least. I mean.
Now I might feel differently if the person didn't care about their spouse and was being a horrible person or mean to their spouse or mean to others, then I might find it and do some good with it.
Well, if they're being mean to their spouse, wouldn't you still want the spouse to have the money?
Or I especially would. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Now, if it was the other way around and they had spent the last 2 hours telling me about how their spouse like hit them and stuff like that, then that might be a little different. But if they were mean to the spouse, I would definitely want to have the spouse to have the money.
Oh, I mean, yeah.
So Mitch is rich, so there we go. And Kim wants to know where they got the money. Am I doing anything illegal?
We didn't source the money, so.
Yeah, I mean, I've watched enough Law and Order that I'm something of a legal expert. But I would think that if you're just conveying that information, that still wouldn't make you like an accessory or anything. It's like, hey, here's what I was told. Because
conveying it and not actually getting it.
Yeah, because you don't even. Yeah, I'm not gonna go get it. But
You're not going to be speedy delivery. Sorry about your husband, but here's all your money.
Yeah, because then you would. Because then, if we're going into the legal part of it, then you would be like an accessory because you're taking possession of stolen goods and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
Yeah, Lenny Briscoe taught
Dirty
me
money.
a lot. Yeah. But.
You say that, but
watch
I'm
yourself,
the crime
McCoy.
watcher.
But yeah, I mean, you tell the spouse, and then whatever happens. And you got the good karma, and there you go. Joe says, look for the list of deceased opposite sex passengers. Get their addresses from the phone book. Narrow it down to the most obnoxious person. You'll have a name. Then go to locker 1, 2, 3. All right. So yeah, it's a lot of potential options there, but yeah.
This is fun.
Yeah, I like that. I like that game. We'll have to do some more of that at some point.
Indeed. So I want to know something that someone's got going on this week that they're excited about. It could be you're going to do something social, or you're going to do something at home, or you've got a goal. Something you're like, I want to hear more about what's good. There's so much devastation. So what are you excited about in the next 7 days?
While we're waiting on that, I'll share a couple of things. We got 2 major projects launching this week from the foundation, so that's really exciting.
So you go first.
I don't know how much I can actually officially say, so I'm just.
I'm saying that you're going first.
Yes. Well, because I gotta let people have time to type. We've got one that has been germinating for. I haven't been involved in it this whole time, but it's been percolating for a year, and we're finally going to be able to launch that this week. And then another project I'm excited about. It's going to be great for a lot of primary care providers, and it's an educational opportunity for a lot of folks. So that's exciting.
Yay! Oh, I still consider myself. I still wear all my hats.
Yeah.
So I'm a PCP. You redid your whiteboard this week, so I'm reading up there.
Yeah, it's making a little bit more sense now. Because I don't have quite the web of stuff that I often do, but there are a couple of things that this is how I remember. This is what I got to do today, and the whiteboard up there. So, Elena is excited about coming over for dinner tonight. We're excited about that as well.
I am too. Our bathroom's still dirty. Sorry, I'm just gonna say that. But
we're focused in the living room. So.
Yeah, so you guys can come over right when we sign out if you want. You just have to hang out with us until the food's ready. Anyway, we're dressed and we smell good, so you can come over right away. That's what I'm excited about.
I even put on my my dress hoodie, as I call it.
That you just got at the Costco.
Yeah, I needed a fancier hoodie for work because I don't want to necessarily have all the logos and stuff on there, but I also want to be comfortable because I'm working at home. So.
Right.
I have a dirty little secret. I have a little stash off to the side of dress shirts and some of the nicer sweaters and things like that if I have a meeting, like an external meeting, I'll go grab a sweater real quick and throw that on. Then when I'm done with that, I'll put my hoodie back on.
I don't think we can call that a dirty little secret anymore. I think that's the work at home toolbox.
Very good.
Yeah, it's pretty. Yeah. You're special, but that's standard. I mean,
not quite sure how to take that.
You matter.
So Mitch, Kim says excited to crash the dinner party. Well, we've got a lot of pulled pork.
We'll have a lot. So. Yeah, come on over. You don't mind a little house.
A lot of fun yesterday at the Nordic Fire Festival. You know, when we were out doing our shopping and stuff like that, we stopped for lunch, and I saw a person at the place we had lunch wearing a Nordic Fire Festival shirt.
Oh, we're excited to hear about it. I saw some of Elena's makeup.
He looked rather Nordic too. He had like the big, Ragnar beard and all that kind of stuff. So I was.
We'll be excited to hear about it.
Joe will be going to the mailbox a few times on a Sunday, and to the during the week. I'm slow. I'm special, from what I hear. Going to the mailbox a few weeks into the grocery store too. Whoop-de-doo, dull week ahead. That's not necessarily a bad thing.
Yeah. Sometimes no excitement means good, chill, steady. You want it like that when you're taking a ferry across the lake or something.
Yes.
You don't need turbulence.
Yes. Kim, we will be happy to get you the address. Bring a dish to pass or not. We're gonna have a lot of. We got a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, we're stupid.
As usual. Bought a ridiculous amount of food for 2 bariatric surgery patients. Food. Ridiculous amount of food. Consonants are hard. Got a food prep after this. There you go. So it looks like people are gonna have a perhaps dull, but perhaps a good week, which is good because there's a lot of talking about from the within and the without, a lot of exciting in the Japanese proverb sense, interesting times. May you live in interesting times. It's actually a curse.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of interesting stuff
Bless
going
your
on.
heart.
And, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
In the southern sense. I'm not trying to tell them off, but.
No, just there's a lot of that going on right now, so sometimes it's good to take that piece where you can and have some peace.
We're on fire.
We should have a festival.
Hello. Hey. Harvey wants to make his appearance. This is Harvey Dent.
Harvey Dent, so named by Kelly, because when we met him, he kept coming back, and the third time I think it was that he came back to our place up north, he had tangled with a wild animal and had a big old wound on this side of his face. And Kelly
was totally raw. I cried and nursed it in the little side house. I was going to
say, Kelly Becker, RN, MSN, FNP, got out the wound kit and
he's doing just fine now.
Yeah, but he had a two-faced situation, and now he's better.
Now
sorry. Joe wants to talk about pretzel bread, which I'm really excited about.
We need to bring the old carbs down after all this.
We do, but that pretzel bread is pretty special.
It's worth it. Yeah.
So, as I think we've talked about before, my pandemic hobby was learning how to cook better. And recently I've been trying my hand at pretzels. Warm soft pretzels are a family favorite. One of our kids was asking for that as they were going through a rough time. And so I learned how to make real old school pretzels with the real secret is you've got to get food grade lye, LYE, sodium hydroxide. You got to get the real stuff.
And gloves.
Well, yeah, and gloves and all that stuff. But you get this. It's food grade sodium hydroxide. You can get it on Amazon. I'm sure if you can get it. I think you can get it at a craft store because they also use it to make soap and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So, but you make a very, very weak basic bath with it. And getting into the chemistry of food a little bit, it apparently lowers the temperature at which the Maillard reaction occurs, which is what gives when you brown meat and things like that. That's where all that stuff happens. And that then gives the pretzels this crunchy, crispy.
Oh, you've been doing it perfectly.
The outside, it's like really getting like a store pretzel, or the really old school stuff. It only goes in there for a minute, and it's like I said, it sounds crazy, but let's see, what is it? I'm just trying to do the math. I think it's
math.
Yeah, I guess this is how I'm saving the world is with my math here. I think it's 1,000 grams of water with 3 grams of the lye in it, so it's a very weak solution, but still you glove up and all that stuff and you're careful with it. And then when you bake it, it cooks out all the, it reconfigures it chemically and all that stuff, so it's safe to eat. So it sounds crazy, but it really does make a huge difference. I'm told that you can actually use baking powder. It doesn't work as well. You can also do a thing where you actually bake the baking powder in an oven for like a half hour or something like that, and the heat causes a different kind of reaction and gets it closer to the lye. But honestly, this stuff's so easy to use, and making the bread itself is not terribly difficult. I'm now getting into making bread. I've made tomato bread. I made the pretzel bread.
The same audience has seen all the photos.
Yeah. But I've been actually kind of amazed at how easy bread is to make.
Unfortunately,
it's a little time consuming, but it's pretty easy. It's pretty straightforward. You just got to give it time to. And I also discovered that after a couple of trying to do some kitchen hack kind of things, found that our oven actually just has a bread proofing mode. So also a life lesson. Actually take some time to read the instruction manual when you get a new appliance or electronic or something like that, because you may discover that there are features that you are not aware of that will save you some time and effort. So Kim says, afraid to have all that temptation in reach. Yeah, it can be a thing. Fortunately, we do still have, 2 teenagers and a 20-year-old. We have 3 young adults in the house every other week. So
this year they turn 21, 20, and 16.
Yes. So fortunately, the reach usually goes away fairly quickly.
Yeah.
Joe says, who does the cleanup? That would be the worst part. Depends on the day. I do some of it. Kelly does some of it. And kiddos do some of it.
I'm not going to lie. Mike and the kids do a majority. And I come around and quality control. You
do like you're the closer. You do the buff and the polish and all that stuff. So that's always been the role.
I'm doing more now that I'm not so swamped.
That's always been kind of our roles, though. And you've said this too. I tend to get things started, and I do like the bulk. Yeah, I do the bulk parts, and then I get worn out, and I don't want to do the fine details because I just want to. I've done my part, and now I'm done, and so I'm happy to hand it off to the closer. So. Fortunate in that we have those. Yeah, it works out well. I mean, it's we have always said that we complement our strengths and weaknesses pretty well.
Indeed, marriage goals.
Yeah, absolutely.
Harvey's just fine with this whole thing. He likes hearing Daddy talk.
He likes his 15 minutes of fame.
Yeah, look at those eyes.
Well, Emma walked by out in the kitchen out there, so he's enthralled by Emma out there. So
he's a good boy. All right, we look forward to seeing our guests here soon.
Yeah. And
thank you all for joining us today. And I think maybe next week, if Emma's not at work, we'll do some Halo Taco-ness.
Yes, we can get the goal will be to rearrange the home office a little bit more as we're working on some of that stuff. And now I have more than one camera, so we can get a real pro setup.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So, all right, everybody. Well, hope you have a good weekend. Thank you, Kim, for stopping by, and thank you, everybody, for stopping by today. Hope you had a good time. Appreciate you spending some of your Sunday with us.
We'll try to stick to the 2 o'clock on Sundays.
Yep, it's been going pretty well. This is
even if we shower right before.
That's like 2 or 3 weeks in a row, so we're actually getting into that cadence now.
2,
yeah. We'll get there.
Yeah.
All right, everybody, take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. We'll see you in a week.
Harvey says bye. Mm-hmm.